There is a term that's used very casually in circles of finance, business, and law, and I thought I'd break that down because it has a lot of legal ramifications. Now, this term is the term of escrow or escrow agent or escrow arrangement. You probably heard that quite a lot. But what is an escrow? To me, an escrow is really like a trust bridge. So basically, if there's a buyer and seller, and they either need to exchange funds, assets, or documents, then you appoint an escrow agent or a neutral third party to hold those whilst the obligations that the buyer and seller have typically agreed are fulfilled, in which case those funds or documents or assets can be moved from one party to another. Now, a lot of this happens generally because sometimes a buyer may not have the funds available and a seller wants to make sure the funds are available. In most scenarios, like in Dubai real estate, for example, all developers are required to have a real estate authority approved escrow fund. So if I'm a buyer, I don't put my money into the developer's bank account. I put my money in a safe place where once the developer has reached certain construction milestones, the money is released to the developer. So it safeguards me as a buyer. So there are many different ways of using escrow in this regard. So that is in real estate, then in mergers and acquisitions, which we are actively work in, where we often have an escrow agent when there are large sums of money involved. And we sometimes also have escrow agents holding documents or bankers' checks, not just funds, because sometimes that's what's required in a sale. So depending on the quantum of the sale, the escrow agent may have a different role. Now, one of the other aspects of this is that in most cases, generally an escrow agent needs to be a licensed financial institution. So we often use banks in the region who may act as escrow agents. Largely lawyers, especially lawyers like myself, do not intend to or act as escrow agents because what typically happens is that it takes you away from being a neutral advisor or a outside of the deal person to becoming a stakeholder in the deal if you're holding funds or if you're holding checks. So most lawyers generally would not do that because it could effectively raise conflict or raise issues where you tend to get involved in the parties' matters, which is not obviously ideal if you advised on it. And also it bears a significant amount of risk. We have seen some cases in the past where legal firms and lawyers have had immense trouble because they, with good faith and in all goodwill, they acted as escrow agents. So I wouldn't use the term too casually. Escrow comes with financial repercussions, with regulatory repercussions, and you need to be properly validated and licensed to be able to act as an escrow agent. And you need to be bound by certain duties because you are the trust bridge, as I said. So there's my two-piece on escrow. Hope it clarifies a lot of doubt because I know the word is bandied about very casually, and it's always nice to know what these things really mean and what responsibilities they carry. Thank you so much for watching Think Tank this week. I'll see you next week.